Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode number 106 of the StreamYard Live Town Hall. My name's Geige, and I'm here with Dan, of course. Dan, how are you doing?
Doing good, buddy. Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday. For anyone new here, Dan and I are the founders of StreamYard, and we do these town halls every single Sunday at 6 p.m. Pacific, and we do them for a few reasons. One is to stay in tune with you guys, go through the same flow you guys do when you do your own shows. Two is to answer your questions. So if there's anything you'd like us to chat about tonight, feel free to leave it in the comments section. We'll do our best to get to all of them. And I always make sure we mention our three pillars, which are ease of use, stability, and professional streams. So if you're about those three things, StreamYard is the tool for you. Let's see who we have hanging out with us tonight. Tim, nice to see you here. Dana is always in the chat. Thanks for helping out, Dana. Before I forget, we do have we have lots of shows these days. Again, we need to have like a consolidated section on the website for all of them. But we have StreamYard Spotlight with Dana and Kelsey, Thursdays at 8 p.m. Eastern, which is a show about you guys that interview StreamYard users and how they're finding success with the platform. We also have Tech Talks with Daniels on the YouTube channel, Tuesdays at 11. Christian is now doing live stream reviews Saturdays at noon Eastern. And then we have Coffee with the Ducks, which are interviews with the StreamYard team. So if you guys want to know more of some of the people behind the scenes, definitely check that out. I know it's a lot of fun we have a lot of fun doing them for sure. Let's see if we have any questions here. Michael says, to add to my comment from last week, please when we add guests to the show, don't do it automatically, change to all folks on screen. I want to keep me and only add folks. Thanks for the clarification, Daniel.
Got it. Yeah, that one's definitely a balance for us. Like ease of use for most users and kind of the advanced use case you're looking for. Might be something we had a setting for at some point.
Charles is asking for a timer on the videos to see how much time is left before we come back live. Yeah, Charles, that's something that we do need to address. I definitely noticed that myself for our own countdown. You know, by now I know, but I definitely understand, especially for a guest waiting to be, brought back in. You don't know exactly when that video is going to end. Looks like Dee's in tonight. Thanks for tuning in. Dee, definitely check out Dee's making, along with a lot of other awesome YouTubers, making great content for us on the YouTube channel, so be sure to check that out. One thing we want to mention is that we will be having a kickoff event with Hopin for as many as last week that we announced that we've now joined Hopin, but we'll be having a kickoff event February 3rd, which will, if you're interested in virtual events, that'll be a lot of the discussion, but be sure to check that out if you want to hear from the wonderful folks over there. And we did have a question as well. We were curious how many of you, obviously, we have the recording feature on StreamYard, and I know many people will download those videos and repurpose them and do things with them. But we were curious how many of you, if it would be useful to be able to actually share that link and have someone be able to watch your StreamYard recording without you having to go through the process of downloading it and then sending it out. Basically, just sharing a StreamYard link itself. We were curious how many of you would actually go about using that. Christopher says, with the merger, will we have access to Hopin services? So, Christopher, we will be running as an entirely separate, brand and product. We will have a pretty deep integration as far as the studio itself being able to stream into Hopin, but it's something you'll do, like you'd use Hopin separately. So, if you want to check out Hopin, you're free to do that. Just go to hopin.com and you can check out their services. But there's no plans as of right now to access them directly from StreamYard beyond the integration. Sandy says, still waiting on a great way to put up photos and not have guests in the background, but have it show the entire image. Yeah, Sandy, definitely understand that one. More options for, there is, of course, the option to screen share, but I know many folks, instead of screen sharing, want to be able to just upload a set of images and have them during the stream. So that is something we'd like to address. Thanks for the feedback, Sandy.
Cool.
I lost the comment. Someone's asking about if we had any discount for charities. If you reach out to customer support, streamyard.com/contact, and just mention that you're a charity, they'll be able to help you out with that. Fadlin says, direct sharing of recordings will be awesome. Thanks, that's good to know. Munko says, how do you show gameplay on StreamYard? So most most people using StreamYard Monko are doing talk shows and things like that. It's not really, we don't really have many features focused on gaming. That being said, it is possible to do it. There's a channel called Retro Gaming that has a pretty cool show where they'll use a virtual camera. So they'll use something like a capture card to capture what's going on in the game, and then bring that in as a virtual camera. That's probably the best way to go about doing that. Tim's asking, will there be packages where we can purchase both StreamYard and Hopin subscriptions together, a discount? Maybe. Yeah, I don't have any details or dates or anything like that, Tim, but we likely will be doing things of that sort to help people use both products together.
Yeah, good question.
Jason says, will there ever be a way to run a short video as a lead into the stream or during the stream? So you can actually do this now, Jason. It does require like a few steps. Like, it's not the smoothest thing ever, but like we started the stream like that, right? So if you put up an overlay video, an overlay image, and then start the stream and then play a video, you can have it where the stream essentially starts with a video introduction. And we have considered and are thinking about ways to make it so you don't actually have to have those extra clips to sort of time things correctly, and where it just starts out with a video. But in case you didn't know that is an option.
Yeah, and some people will just, without like the image, like what we did here is we kind of put an image up, start, then play a video on top of it, and then take the image off. You can also just play the video, especially if there's not much going on in the video at the start, and then click go live, and it'll kind of time it. One of the tricky things is that like each platform might start at a slightly different time. Just the platforms are all slightly different, so you want to just make sure the start of the video maybe doesn't have like too much important content in it. Like maybe it's a 10-second countdown and then it plays the rest of the video, or an even longer countdown and then you play another one, kind of like we do. So a few different options there. It's pretty common though to like start a countdown, then click go live. It'll go live during the countdown and then play out another intro clip right after that, or as part of the original countdown even.
Absolutely. D's feature request is dark mode. Noted. Thanks for the request, D. Charles giving a shout out to the support team. Yeah, definitely. For anyone that doesn't know, we do have 24/7 live support, and they're an awesome group of folks. So yes, I definitely appreciate them.
Yeah, they're great.
Diego says, I run shows for my work, so it's not actually my account. When I do a show myself, I notice that the comments from my FB profile don't come into the stream. Is that because I'm not the account owner? So my first guess, if it's a Facebook profile, Diego, and I don't know if you mean the comments don't come in at all, or if you don't mean the image. Either way, it's most likely a permissions issue. So if you'll want to make sure that the stream on the profile is set to public rather than friends only. I'm guessing that's the problem.
Yep. So like when you're in the StreamYard studio, like where the comments come in, right at the top, there should be some text explaining like, hey, you might not get them for your profile. If you're multi-streaming, it might say somewhere else like, hey, you won't get comments for certain profiles. You can click that. It'll go into an area that explains why. But yeah, basically you have to, for profiles, you want to make the streams public. Just one of Facebook's security rules is like they won't send comments to StreamYard or anywhere else unless the stream is public on Facebook. And hopefully that's okay to have it public on your profile. I think most people are usually good with that if you're streaming your profile. But another one is to use pages if possible, because the pages don't have any restrictions like that.
Lucas says how to move the logo to another corner. So you can't do it specifically with the logo feature, Lucas, but what you can do is upload an overlay with the image in a particular location, and that will allow you to put it wherever you like. Man Down Podcast Network says no request. I just want to say I appreciate you guys. That's very kind of you. I appreciate you tuning in. Christopher says, will we see motion backgrounds in the near future? Near future. I don't have a specific date or anything for you, Christopher, but I appreciate the feedback there. It is something we've definitely considered. One thing we've always been a bit worried about is it can be a bit abrupt if you upload something that has a ton of movement, but it's certainly something we're open to. David says, can StreamYard allow you to record and live in a 24-hour all the way? So, David, this depends on the platform you're streaming to. So StreamYard's recording feature We'll only record on the basic plan up to 4 hours. On the pro plan, it's up to 8 hours. But you might be streaming somewhere, like if you're streaming to your own infrastructure or something like that, you could, you can stream as long as you like. We don't cut off the stream itself. So depending on the platform you're going live to, that may or may not be an option.
Yeah. And a lot of platforms will limit that as well. Like YouTube, Facebook, they all kind of have their own internal limits.
See, before I forget, one other question we wanted to address was community tools. I made a post in the Facebook group this week, which if you're not in the Facebook group, check that out. It's an awesome community of folks with lots of useful tips. If you just type in StreamYard community on Facebook, it should pop up. But I'm curious how many of you guys are using something outside of your shows to basically manage your community or your viewership the same way that, like, for us, we use a Facebook group. So I'm curious how many of you use a Facebook group or something else like Discord or Mighty Networks is like a paid tool. I'm curious what you guys use for that, if anything, and what you like and don't like. So like if you do use, I know Facebook group is one of the most popular. So I'm curious, like with the Facebook groups, is there anything you don't like about them? Anything that you wish you could change? Trying to learn more about how we can continue to improve our own community. So curious what you guys use.
Cool.
One other, I was going to wait for her comment, but I haven't seen it yet. One small change that we were going to announce tonight was, I know Tangerine, if you're watching, you've asked for a long time, is if you have more than the limit, attempt to join your broadcast, you get a notification pop up, and if that's constantly happening, if you're constantly getting more people joining, it will pop up over and over again. And it's a very small change, but I wanted to make a note of it because I know it's been requested for a long time. There is a don't show again message, so hopefully Tangerine, that's a welcome change. Michael, sorry, go ahead.
Said it's the little things that count.
Yes, the little things. Michael says, please use Discord instead of your Facebook group. I'd be curious, Michael, what you like about why Discord? Like, what makes that a better solution? I'd be super curious.
Yeah.
Fadlan says, any plans for auto scheduling feature for video overlays? That's an interesting question, Fadlan, I guess. So one thing people do ask for a lot is the ability basically to record your stream and send it out later, and that is something we've considered adding. This one, though, sounds like maybe what you mean is during the stream, the ability to say, like, hey, at this point, play a video. No current plans for that, but we are always trying to make the experience more easier, right? So you have less to think about and you can plan things out beforehand. So that's useful feedback. Maybe at some point we'll have something where you can do a bit more planning like that.
Cool. It's a good question.
Tristan says, we use a Facebook group and have a WordPress social media platform we also manage. Happy to demo. Cool, Tristan, I'll have to check that out. Monko says, can you add community posts on YouTube via StreamYard? No, you can't do that via StreamYard, but I'll have to look at if YouTube has anything for the community in their API. That's an interesting idea. We should use the YouTube community more. I've not used it. I think I've only made a couple posts on it, but it is a cool feature on YouTube.
Yeah.
Michael says, can we please be able to select a pre-created YouTube event? Yes, I definitely understand if you have something you've created outside of StreamYard, wanting to be able to import that in at some point. Michael will definitely add that. Dr. Juliet says, can streams be embedded to use in Zoom? I've asked several times, no reply. So I don't think I'm not sure I fully understand how that would work exactly. I guess what you could do, Dr. Juliet, if I'm understanding you correctly, is maybe capture StreamYard in a virtual cam and put that in Zoom. But it seems like a lot of steps to me. My guess is that you probably just use Zoom or just use StreamYard would be my suggestion. But if you're really trying to pull that off, that's how.
Yeah, it really depends like what you need to do, I guess. But yeah, you could also like screen capture it in Zoom, like full screen StreamYard. There's definitely things you can do. But yeah, curious, I guess, what the use case is.
Elder says, would love for the comments in the block and bubbles theme to be as large as the default. People love to see themselves. Thanks for the feedback.
Totally fair. Yep.
Marissa says, feature requests. When a stream is being recorded or live, send an email saying your broadcast, whatever it's called, is now streaming or something like that to help with multiple broadcasts happening in a pro account. Yeah, that's a cool request, Marissa. I haven't actually heard that one many times, but I definitely can see the need for that. I'd be curious if you already do that. Do you have a solution, Marissa, that you do manually? Like, do you do that with your own email list? I'd be curious. Michael says, I really dislike Facebook. You folks are the only reason I'm staying in the Facebook group. Discord has great levels of permission where you can chat with voice. There's much more. Noted. I'll have to do a deeper dive on it, McDan. I keep saying that. Michael, I'll have to do a deeper dive on that.
I always like that Michael switches between Facebook and YouTube for comments too.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd also be curious, anyone else using Discord, what are your thoughts? What have you liked about it? What do you not like about it?
Oh, thanks, Dana. I didn't realize that. Dana's saying Hopin already does have a discount code that you can use at Hopin's checkout page. If you're a StreamYard user for $500 off their starter plan, use the code Love StreamYard. Good till the end of January. I didn't even know that. That's awesome.
Cool. So that's a pretty huge discount. So if anyone is interested in Hopin, now would be the time by the sounds of it.
Yeah, we'll have to make a post in the group as well. Pete says, question, any plans for templates or the ability to copy titles and descriptions from previous shows? Yeah, that's a good question, Pete. And that's actually something we've been having more longer conversations about now. Is just like, how can we make the flow before the stream as good as possible? And I think having things like templates, whether or not templates is the specific solution, that's the type of stuff we're talking about. So yes, likely we will have something to have a better ability to organize what shows are going out in the future. And we would be, brings me to another one of our points, customer interviews. So we are doing lots of user interviews these days. So about stuff like we love hearing about things like that. So if I'll link I think Dana, if you don't mind linking the form, Dana, please link it in the chat. But someone from our team would love to chat with you about the details there, because we are trying to think through that flow.
And not just that flow, but all kinds of things. If you have cool ideas, things you want to chat about, love to talk with you.
And LTMW says, I like the granularity of Discord. You can create separate areas for different discussions about certain features. It's tough to follow discussions in Facebook sometimes. Yeah, that's a good point.
Also be curious for the people that are interested in Discord, how many of you use Slack and what you think. Like, Discord does feel like it's built for that, whereas Slack feels a little like it's more strapped on. But Discord's also primarily, originally for gamers, obviously expanding, but still a lot of the core features are for the gamer community. Curious if anyone's tried Slack communities and how, what they like about those, what you don't like about those.
Definitely.
It's kind of like a middle ground to some extent between Facebook and Discord. Sort of.
Clarissa says, any chance of getting some simple transitions soon? So we do plan on adding more themes, Clarissa, and each theme is going to have different types of transitions. So yes, in that sense, maybe I'm misunderstanding a bit. Do you have any thoughts there, Dan?
Clarify the transition part. Like, do you mean like with the overlays, or are you talking like the how the comments animate in, or maybe if you can just clarify that.
Dave says, for Zoom, I broadcast from StreamYard to YouTube on one computer, and then on a second computer, use Manycam to capture the YouTube stream and push to Zoom. It's a pain, but the Zoom's registration process is key for some broadcasts. Okay, that's good to know. Thanks for the feedback there, Dave. It's good to know that registration is the main reason to go through those steps.
Interesting.
What else do we have here? Cooper says, any plans to import comments from other sources to each stream source for connectivity and engagement? So we do want to add more integrations, Cooper. Like, I definitely understand how maybe you'd have like a community or something like that, where you want to pull content into your stream, whether it's a comment or something else. So I don't have anything super specific there, but we're certainly looking into having more integrations where, maybe you have some outside source or feed that you want to pull into the stream and show it on screen. So it's definitely something we've considered. Andrew says not a fan of the Discord aesthetic. Good to know.
Fair enough. Yeah, it definitely has a very unique feel to it, right? Very different than Facebook. For better or worse, right? Depends who you are.
Charles says the number one thing for me that would be great is an auto reminder that's pushed out to my followers that I'm live. Good to know, Charles. I'd be curious how you'd want that to go out. Like, would it be email, text? Let us know. I'd love to learn more.
Yeah, Twitter, Facebook, all of the above.
Monko says, how can I record on StreamYard? It's pretty simple, Monko. You just, when you create a broadcast, there's an option that just says skip record only. And that, instead of going out to a social platform, you can just go straight to a recording.
And even if you're also going to YouTube or something, that'll just be recorded automatically.
We have one question here. Lizzie says, scheduling in advance for months at a time. When will we have that? So the only reason we don't have longer lengths right now, Lizzie, is because certain platforms only allow you to make the posts a certain time in advance. Like some it's a week, some it's longer. I would be curious if, regardless of that limit, if it's something that you still want. So if it's something like, okay, even though the post, it gets kind of confusing, but even though the post itself isn't going to be scheduled until, when that time restriction is met. So say Facebook, it's not going to actually post until that time, but I still want everything to be, I'm having trouble explaining this, but having basically everything, scheduling the scheduled posts, essentially. I'd be curious if that's something you'd still be interested in and still want. And if so, if it's something where you'd want like a link itself on StreamYard, it's something so people would know that it's happening. Would love to learn more about that. Hopefully people understand what I'm talking about. It's a bit confusing.
Yeah, it's like scheduling on StreamYard, but not on Facebook or YouTube. Or I guess YouTube you can schedule long in advance, so it's more of Facebook and LinkedIn. Don't schedule them yet, but schedule it on StreamYard. Yeah, it's interesting.
Sophie Ann says, any tips without using equipment to play sounds from the laptop I broadcast from? So without using any kind of equipment, you're somewhat limited. Like you could, screen share or something like that. My recommendation is to use something like a Rodecaster. If you don't consider software equipment, the other option is to use a virtual audio cable. Sophie Ann?
And then even a third or fourth, whichever number we're on, really hacky solution, which will be poor quality, but I have used before and does work. So it really depends on your use case. The simplest one is just play it out of your speakers and don't wear headphones, and it'll go back into your mic. Now, again, not the highest quality solution. So if you're looking for a very high quality thing, yeah, Rodecaster is going to be great, or virtual audio cable, which is a software solution. Those will both work very well. But if you want absolutely zero tech, you could just straight up play it out of your speakers and let it go back into your mic.
Tristan says, question, would people love the community if it looked and felt like Facebook but wasn't on Facebook? I don't know. One nice thing about Facebook is it's lots of people are already on Facebook, so it's easy to find what's going on, but it's a good question. Rebecca says, being able to select a thumbnail for an overlay or video clip would help me find them quicker when I have a lot of them to upload. Yeah, absolutely. Another thing that I know would make things easier for people is the ability to reorder, which is also on the list. Should we go ahead and do our, I notice we're getting close to the end, Dan. Should we go ahead and do our giveaway?
Let's do it.
So yeah, if, many of you probably already know how this works, but if you just type in, or I guess I'll wait for Dan to pull it up, but Inspirational says, hello there. I may be repeating what people have asked, but can we have an animated overlay? So you can actually upload GIFs, Marie, if you, and you can make them transparent too. So you could upload a transparent GIF with motion in certain parts of the screen. So that would allow you to do an animated overlay.
So we're doing a giveaway here. What are we giving away, Geige?
Yeah, I've got a nice picture tonight. So let's today we'll be giving away the StreamYard pillow and the StreamYard mug. So if you guys are interested in those, just type in hashtag the yard and you'll be eligible for the draw tonight.
Do you want to throw up a banner? Do you have a banner for that?
I do. Just hashtag the yard. And it doesn't matter how many times you type it in. It only counts once.
Yeah, and it can be part of another message. It could be any casing whatsoever. It just has to say hashtag the yard somewhere in the message.
Jim says, Chris Stone and I produced an event with Hoppin' and StreamYard on Saturday with over 500 live attendees, and they loved it. One comment was compared to Zoom, it actually felt like an event. Thanks, Jim. That's awesome, awesome feedback. Super happy to hear that it went well.
Very cool. Yeah, it definitely has a different feel than Zoom. All right, we ready for this?
Yeah, I think so.
A few more seconds. All right, let's do it. So for a mug and a pillow.
Wyatt, congrats. Thanks so much for tuning in. Dana will reach out to you for your info and send you your mug and pillow. Congrats.
Sweet.
John says, have you ever tried Prezi? It looks impressive and would be fun to use with StreamYard. Sorting questions from comments and live polling would be a great feature to add. Thanks for the suggestion, John. I've heard of Prezi. I've got to remind myself what it looks like and stuff. I haven't used it for a bit. Are you familiar with Prezi, Dan?
Not much, no.
I know the other one that's come up a few times is an integration with something like Slido. So it's definitely something we've thought about, John, and I'll check out Prezi. Cooper says, yes, love on-screen comments, just side combos. One on the stream source would be good to engage other audiences as well at once during the multi-stream. Nice. One other small update that went out before I forget was on the Pro plan. It's a very small change, but on the Pro plan, you're now able to have 12 people backstage instead of 10. So for most people, this doesn't apply because most people don't have that many folks backstage. But if you're doing something like an event, it can be useful to have more people backstage than you have on screen. So that is an option now.
Cool.
Looks like we're just about out of time, but I'll try to find one last question. Clarine saying her first LinkedIn Live was a huge success. Thanks, Clarine. That's awesome to hear.
Very cool.
John says, any ETA on pinning comments? I don't have an ETA, John, but we are working right now. Improvements to the chat in general are being worked on. So thank you guys for tuning in. This was episode number 106 of the StreamYard Live Town Hall. We'll see you guys next week at the same time.
Thanks for hanging out with us, everyone. See ya.